There's literally a crazy man who's chasing me and keeps trying to touch my face. Right, there's the police station. In case he tracks me down, I can pop in and ask for rescue. There's not a soul. I'm surrounded by crops and there's like cows. You're not gonna believe this, but that's my crazy guy. Good morning, folks. Once again from Wuhan. It's a Sunday, but it's a working day. How does that work? Well, it's a public holiday next week, Labor Day. And it's one of those deals, which is, I've only experienced it in China. We certainly don't do it in New Zealand, where you get a couple of extra days off, but you have to pay them back on the weekend. I think you get 5 days off, but you got to make up 2 of them. So today's one of those make-up days. Next week, all the trains are booked up to high heaven because of the 5 days off people have got. So let's make the most of this last kind of working day. Get out and about. Hello. Hongan. Hongan. 那边有一个塔。
你去旅游是吧？这个每天早出晚归就是旅游。
差不多。
这旅游博主你不知道？
你是旅游博主吗 ？TikTok
是爱好。
TikTok
没有 TikTok。
抖音 YouTube 我们都下载不了。
对啊
，YouTube。我 Facebook 有没有微信呢？
有微信呢。
加个微信呢。
好的。
这个我们下载，我们要翻墙才能下载。
我不敢翻墙。
我不会翻墙。对。
No, I wasn't actually planning on traveling today. You can probably tell from all that big puddle. It's been raining. It's forecast to rain a bit more. But this is kind of like my last free day to travel before the pandemonium of the holiday hits. So we're gonna risk the weather. Right, onto the subway, high-speed rail station, and then only a short kind of, I think 30-40 minutes, and we should be able to get to our destination of Hongan. Well, we're here in Hongan. It is raining, but it's light. So far, I've said that before. Okay, I'm off the bus in Hongan. I just caused an argument because some fellow was about to talk to me and his mate called him back and said, I think, don't you dare ask that guy for money. Weather is a bit shit, but like I said, there's no tickets next week because of the bloody holiday. So let's get some food because it's fucking midday. Yeah, then I reckon we try to find some towers if we can in this weather. There's literally a crazy man who's chasing me and keeps trying to touch my face, and he's I think asking me for money. I can't really understand it. He slapped me on the back of the neck. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I need to get out of here. The guy at the bus station tried to protect me from him, but I don't know. Seriously, he's like some old dude. He might be a bit nuts. I hope he's not following me because I don't want to push him away. The last thing you want to do is get into an altercation because then people think I started it. Alright, there's the police station. Let's find a place to eat near the police station. In case he tracks me down, I can pop in and ask for rescue. Seriously, if you punch someone, even push them over, as a foreigner in China, it's not going to end well for you. 这有面吗？
没面。
没面，就是炒菜吗？
炒菜，要不要吃炒菜？
炒菜可以。
那你看一下。
就来个鱼香肉丝吧。
啊，来一个鱼香肉丝，
还有饭。
啊，可以。
可以吧？
做着烧人。
好，谢了。Crazy man didn't follow me here, and I've got some 鱼香藕丝. So we're just down the road from the police station anyway.
我们这里的饭你吃得惯吗？
吃得惯。
饭。
我觉得世界上都有中国餐厅，新西兰蛮多，因为好吃，因为好吃，好吃啊，因为好吃。
中国女婿啊，你跟中国有缘分嘛？
对对，好像是的。你们是红安本地的吗？
啊？
你们是本地人吗？
本地人。我们国家很安全的。
很安全。
很安全。
对。
我们国家真的是世界上最安全的国家。
我也觉得。不过新西兰有的地方晚上我不敢一个人去。
我们这里24小时。
对啊。
24小时，你就在这里站着，没人说什么。
晚上白天
有问题你
没问题，
要帮助啊。
对。
啊。
好多国家都是打仗。
打仗对。
老百姓就可怜。
新西兰喜欢和平。
那你打不到新西兰那个地方哪有？
太远了。
没价值，没打仗的价值。那个地方做战场没价值。
对，我们都是羊多牛奶多。
好。你好，我们国家很安全，你在这里享福啊，可以。你想吃啥？你想吃啥？你在路上迷了路，有人帮你的。
对啊。
没人抢你的。
对啊。
外面不一定的。
对啊。
在我们国家把钱放在口袋这里都没人拿你的。
对啊。
在外面说不定就给你抢走了。
现在都不用现金，都用手机。
啊，对。不是在我们国家现在饿死了在讨饭的。外国你手机拿着给你抢走了。
是外国还是刷卡的？
刷卡。
走了。谢谢。Well, I just finished my lunch. The local guys in the restaurant were very friendly, although it's kind of ironic that they kept going on about how China is really safe, and largely I would agree. But today's the one day someone actually assailed me slightly, trying to keep rubbing my fucking chin and slap the back of my neck. What the hell? But yeah, I managed to lose him. Now, it's time to take a bus, another bus, out to a couple of old towers.
听到吗？那不行，那不行，那我当的那家子，啊，我还是打饭的。我给烧饭啊。好。我给烧的。我接家。
You're not gonna believe this, but that's my crazy guy. She just paid for his bus fare. Well, folks, I got off the bus one stop early because that bus seems to work on a system of there are main stops which the bus will call out, and then there's other stops where you have to yell at the driver to stop. I could yell at the driver, I'm comfortable doing that, but that's interesting. Our crazy man was on the bus and I didn't want him to know where I was getting off, so I just wanted to kind of sneak off at one of the main stops. Thankfully he didn't get off the bus. Unfortunately, I just asked the local guy, who literally lives one stop apparently from where these towers are at, if he knew about them, and he's like, I don't know. So we are in really quite rural country here. Like, these are very rural farmsteads, homes, and you see there is a general. This county is known as the county of generals because over 200 People's Liberation Army generals came from this county, which was more than any other county in that kind of Civil War period. Down this way, we're going to look for this tower. I believe you kind of just have to walk onto someone's farm to get to it, but we will see. Well, just off camera, I spoke to an old fella who's got pretty remarkably good Mandarin for an elderly chap in this part of the country, but he said the bridge that way is busted. So we can't go that way. He says we go this way, across a bridge and turn right, and then we can get there. Good to know. Alright, hopefully I can get across this bridge before that big truck behind me, because I don't really fancy wading through that on the way back. 那边是不是有个古代的塔？那边，这边走啊？看不见吧？
那前面就是看得见。
前面就是看得见。
你说那个宝塔嘛？
什么东西？哦，对对对对对对。前面。就前面。
那个山包就可以看得见。前面就看到。
好，谢谢。
靠左边，靠左边。
这左边，好，谢谢啊。Well, at least we're on the right track. This is about as rural as I think I have gone. There's certainly more rural places than this. I mean, this place has got paved roads. Can't be that rural if we're still in kind of paved road territory. But yeah, there's not a soul. I'm surrounded by crops and there's like cows dotted around the place. So yeah, we're pretty rural. Well, we're coming into some little township area. I can't see any towers. I was kind of hoping to see them popping their heads out, but nothing just yet. But I can see the ruins of that old bridge over there, so that guy was right. See what I mean? No bridge. The bridge is gone. I don't know if they demolished it or it like collapsed in an accident. We might have been able to scoot across that way, but I think the man's advice was better than walking through the mud. Still can't see shit. Where are these towers? Oh, there, poking its head out. Tower or pagoda. Ah, there it is. Oh, you beautiful bastard, look at you. Look at you. Oh, I was just starting to think the map was putting me down the garden path or this rural path, but no, there it is. Let's get a closer look. Cows are pretty indifferent to the tower. There's a cow pat, and then there's the sign, the Shuangcheng Tower, like the two Twin Cities tower. In 2013 they put this plaque here to basically acknowledge it's kind of a heritage site. There it is. There's not even a path to it. You just got to walk through the cow paths. Right, that's the intro, which basically says this was built during the Yuan Dynasty and the Red Turban Rebels. Everything about this county is red. It even used to be called Hongan, which was like yellow, but they changed it to Hong because as I said, there were so many generals and whatnot. There was such a strong base for the communist forces during the Civil War, so it's a red town. But yeah, the Red Turban Rebels, when they were in their kind of rebellion against the Mongolian Yuan Dynasty, built this tower. Apparently there used to be a Buddhist temple next door, but that clearly doesn't exist anymore. It's all just farmland. We actually saw a tower very similar to this one last year in a neighboring place called Macheng, and they said in the little plaque that this one is very much the same style. It has been renovated to like kind of, you know, keep it safe, but it's in more complete condition than the one we saw last year. Partly I guess because the Japanese blew the hell out of the top of the other one, but not this one. Sadly this is as close as we're going to get because it is locked. Now, for some reason, because it's called the Twin City Tower, I actually thought there was 2 towers. But I can't see another one, so I think it's just the one. It does look to have had that kind of more recent facade put on, which is actually cracking away a bit, and you can see some of the more original layers on the inside. And then the more we look up, the kind of older, it looks 35 meters tall. Well, that's it, folks. That's the tower we came to see. It took a little bit of an effort to get here, walking through the fields. But it's just so crazy that in the middle of these fields, there's an old pagoda. I love that about China. It's just random stuff. I imagine if I went to Europe, it'd be the same, just like random old castles and stuff. My country doesn't have that kind of history of, I don't know, just big old buildings out in the randomness. It's time to go through these fields and get back on the bus. Bye-bye, tower. So I'm not sure if you can see that, but in the condensation on the window, someone has written SB, which is a slur here in China. Stupid, and then imagine a bad word.